Hello everyone and welcome back here to Gatekeeper Media as we continue to bring you coverage of the 2022 Preserve Championship out in Clearwater, Minnesota at this course designed by Kale LaVisca. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in and give a special shout out to our Patreon supporters who help make all of this coverage possible. Now we're into our chase card for this second round, and my name is Dustin Mouret and I'll once again be joined by Nathan Queen. How's it going, sir?
Doing well. A bit of a cooler day. We had some storms come in last night and cool the weather off, but we still got some hot scores on this chase card, all double digits. Paul Oman and Ezra Aderhold 11 down, James Conrad and Casey White at 10.
Yeah, as you can see, the hot score of the first day was 13 under par, and a couple of our players were just a couple of strokes behind that as we had several players in the double digits as we head into this chase card. As we'll take a look at Paul Oman's bag here.
Yeah, Paul Oman going to see a similar bag to yesterday. May lean a little bit more on some Thunderbirds in that with the wind and those Toros for his mid-range and up shots, but those same KC AVRs for his putters.
Yeah, and of course, Ezra Aderhold. One of the things that he sticks out for is his Nebula. That's kind of a mid-range you don't see many Discraft players use, so that's a little different. But other than that, known for his Raptors and, of course, the Nukes. I mean, definitely throws those around the course quite often. And then we'll take a pivot over here, taking a look at James Conrad, of course, known for that Envy. Who can forget that? I think whoever will. But also known for the vault and his new fairway driver, the Terra, as well as some Photons and the Panic.
And then we get into Casey White's bag here. Going to be leaning on those drivers, the PDs and the CD3s. Also FDs, not a lot of mid-range play out here, but his Color Glow MD3 I believe is a good one for him.
Yeah, I know he likes the FD3 as well a lot for his forehand, so could be seeing that out a lot as well as we get into hole number one.
Yeah, back to hole one, 400-foot drive off the tee will leave you 320 feet across this water carry into the green. Keep it low enough to miss these branches, or you could get a rollback into the OB, which is a line at the tall grass and not actually the water.
And we're kicking things off with Paul Oman here. Of course, we saw him on our feature card yesterday shooting really well. Always a solid player out in the Midwest, and again has that just crazy unique form.
Yeah, and immediately you see the wind come into play a bit there as that disc was released on a pretty good hyzer and stands up and turns over. Gets pretty good distance though. We'll see if he's pinched off by that tree or not.
And Ezra Aderhold joining our chase card, ranked top 30 in the UDisc World Rankings. Had a great opening this year, 12th at LVC. Had a couple other top 15 finishes on tour this year, including doing really well at OTB in Portland. He's kind of right over there near Paul Oman.
Yeah, didn't make much correction there. Ends up in a similar spot, but still open. Just a little bit further right.
And, of course, James Conrad, our reigning world champion, ranked 12th in the UDisc World Rankings and has had some solid finishes so far this year as he gets about center cut.
Yeah, that looked to about be gliding out very nicely, but as soon as it got turned over, that wind just packed it down and it lost some distance there.
And then Casey White's kind of a new staple. You know, he's been on tour since about 2020. He's already had some pretty good finishes this year, including 9th at the Open at Tallahassee and a couple of top 20 finishes at Texas State and Jonesboro. Really cool to see him out here again.
Yeah, and he's made the corrections and gets the full flight out of that disc. He'll be in the best position of the group.
Yeah, so got James Conrad here first to act, dead center cut, but has the most ground to cover on his second shot as he tries to fight into the green through these trees.
Yeah, and as you can see, that wind is definitely coming more into play today than yesterday. Having that tailwind, he had to leave that disc up high and play with those branches. So he does end up hitting those and drops around circle's edge or so.
And, of course, we got Paul Oman over here in the tall grass on the right-hand side of the fairway. Of course, no OB or anything like that, but maybe makes the footing a little bit tougher. But seems like a good pull.
Looks like he had to go a little bit of Annie around that tree as well, but does it nicely and is inside the circle.
Indeed he is. As similar position here for Ezra, actually opting for the forehand here into the green. Something he's definitely worked on a lot during the offseason, and you can see it's paid off.
Oh yeah, great shot there. Pretty much tap in birdie status. This comes out a little bit low from Casey. but does sneak across. I can't tell if he's behind. Yeah, he's going to have to straddle out a little bit. For the position he was in, he's going to want a cleaner look than this.
Yeah, pretty strong left to right wind as well. He's going to have to battle against here from outside the circle. Tries to spin it in there. Going to be a little low. Have to settle for par on that.
Yeah, tough bid there. That first putt of the day being an awkward stance is pretty difficult.
I mean, that was James Conrad country all day long right there outside the circle. Definitely one of those guys that you always can kind of count on to give it a good bid from that range.
Yeah, that's one of those ones you kind of want to call that you know is going to go in. He had a nice tailwind. Had a nice tailwind for it also, just like Paul Oman here.
Maybe getting knocked down a little too much on that one. We'll settle in, though, for the par. So no one going to take any damage here, but James Conrad the only one that's going to find the scoring opportunity to kick things off.
Yeah, and 49% of the field getting the birdie here. So really, really a hole you want to get the birdie on. Get your round started off right.
Yeah, so this course features kind of a blend of holes, and while this first one is pretty wide open, this one's a little bit more touchy.
Definitely so. 318 feet, par 3, double Mando to start. Miss these trees here on the left, and then have that straight finish, maybe a little bit of left fade. But just trying to hit this gap right after having two pretty open shots off of the tee. It's the most difficult part here. We did see quite a few players yesterday in the field take some OB strokes, missing Mandos or making it into the lake yesterday. And
that's missed.
I have done some foreshadowing again, and Ezra has missed one of these Mandos here.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, obviously it's one of those ones where you want to kind of just throw your straightest shot through the double Mando, but I've also seen some of these right-handed players really favor kind of like forcing something over, a little more overstable to try to get through and fade back to the pin. See what James Conrad's going to do here.
Going with that force over shot you were talking about, and does so nicely. Didn't look like it was going to get the fade back, but flattens out and carries up to pin height. He's going to be inside 20 feet with that birdie look. I think that overstable play with the wind today may be a little bit better, as trying to throw a straight shot is going to be affected a little bit more than an overstable flight.
As we see Paul Oman taking that same route, but it looks overturned and knocked down. So he's going to be well short of the circle there on the right-hand side of the fairway. So we now get to Casey White, deciding between disc here. I know for straighter shots, he likes to throw that night strike, which is kind of a special type of FD, but again, with the wind, it might be a little touchy for that. Does it miss the Mando?
Yeah, luckily enough, he stays short of that Mando, and he should be able... Ezra here gonna take a move up to the FPO tee pad.
Yeah,
for the drop zone.
Not much of a move up. Very near the MPO tee pad. I think maybe he only gets about 30 or 40 feet.
And it didn't look like that came out clean either. He's gonna have a tough look to get the bogey now.
A little force over forehand here from Casey. Well, I know that's kind of one of his favorite shots to throw. He really likes the Annie forehands and, you know, making the most out of the situation.
Yeah, great shot. Using the entire fairway there, getting it up there. Going to have a chance to save his par. Paul for a long birdie look now.
Decides to just stand still and put it up there. A little soft bid. We'll nestle up for a par, it looks like. No problem. So we get over to Ezra, who's still got some work to do.
Oh, yeah, this isn't even a bogey look. He's going to be getting up and down, trying to get the double bogey now.
Looks like it's going to do a little bit of damage for sure on the scorecard early here in this second round, but luckily it's early, so plenty of time to recover as James goes back-to-back.
Yeah, can't start much better than that. 2 birdies and another very gettable hole to start, trying to get a turkey and make a push for the lead early on.
Casey, no problem there. Always a little scary when it's that much of a headwind, even that close to the pin, but gets it done.
Yeah, especially for par after hitting the first tree, getting fortunate to not miss the Mando. got a lot of things going on in your head just to get that simple seeming par there.
Yeah, Paul finding the par there as well, and as we see here, Ezra Aderhold tapping in what should be a double on hole number 2. Knock them down just a little bit for 1 over on the round, but again, still plenty of golf to be played here on moving day as we jump into hole number 3.
Another par 3, 408 feet. There is the river on the right side that's pretty high. There's OB pretty far left. Doesn't usually come into play, barring a pretty early release, but 408 feet straight. You'll see mid-ranges or fairway drivers from most of these players, maybe up to a distance driver.
Yeah, I feel like the error you often see is maybe just riding a little too straight and kind of fizzling out into the left-hand side, but other than that, pretty straightforward hole, as we're going to see James force something over there, but comes up a bit short.
Not quite the height he needed on that one. He'll still have that circle 2 look, though, which is definitely Conrad country.
It's definitely a great skill to have, to feel that confident outside the circle with your putt. But definitely one of his specialties, as we see Paul Oman here put a good line on this disc.
There's that little early mistake you were talking about. Just getting, a little too much fade at the end, skipping off down that hill. Looks like he'll be inside circle 2 also with an uphill putt.
And also something you're noticing already here is there's a pretty huge gallery at this event. It's something that I know a lot of players were kind of chattering about, that, the people really showed up in the area to support the tournament. And that's a great shot for them to celebrate, that's for sure.
Yeah, Casey White making the correction on that big skip, gets it a little bit higher. Let's take a look at his form here. Got a fast step run up. There's a plant and hip twist all together, where he generates all his power, able to get that fairway driver up to the basket and have that soft landing.
And now we get to Ezra Aderhold. Looks like that one's kind of fizzling out on him here.
Yeah, pretty far left on that one. Still safe. Just going to have that deep circle 2 look uphill.
Looks to be a
nice
bit of a
highlight putt after the double bogey.
Ooh. Just a little wide, it looked like.
Yeah, it looked like he thought he made it, expecting that toe in to drop it.
And here he is, James Conrad, probably about 45 to 50 feet away. Oh.
Not quite on the 3 for 3, just a little low.
Another uphill putt here for one of our card mates. It'll be Paul Oman looking to try to still get the birdie here. A little low right. A little bit of a nasty roll as well.
Ezra, the dreaded 3 putt. Gonna be, bleeding a bit further now, taking double bogey and adding to the wound bogey in the next hole off of a 3 putt. Paul gonna try to save his here and is gonna do the same.
Man, a couple of players here taking some licks on this putting green.
Yeah, hopefully Casey hasn't been watching too much of this and he's gonna get his first birdie of the round. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, had a great drive off the tee, so didn't really have too much work left to do on the putting green to collect the birdie. And as you said, that'll be his first one of the round here, keeping him tied up for 6th place as we see everyone else just kind of finish things off. It'll be a bogey for Oman as well as Aderhold. Oh, it'll be a par for Conrad. And we'll be back after a short break. get back into it here. We're off to another par 4 here on hole number 4.
Yeah, 746 feet. Yesterday I was calling this as one of the harder ones on the course, but 25% of the field still able to get the birdie. Today, that range is a little more what I was thinking, but you got to get a big turnover off of the tee. You really want to push about 400 feet at least and get into those first trees you saw in the fairway. If you can get past all 3 of them, that's the ideal position to hit this second gap.
Yeah, true 2-shot par 4 where you need really good placement off the tee and still have to hit a pretty tight gap on your second shot for birdie. But pretty good shot there, just a little maybe deeper forward than you wanted.
Yeah, he's got the distance on it. The fading out to the left is going to be what could put him in a possible par position. We'll see what type of look he has with those first trees in the fairway.
Conrad puts a good move on this disc as well, and also kind of carries just a little bit further than maybe you'd want.
I think as long as he's not too far into that tall grass, or if he stays short of that tall grass, he's in a pretty ideal position there. Super high out of Paul's hand. Gonna end up catching that fade back. Have 2 gaps to hit now. Those first trees I was talking about in the fairway gonna cause an issue of a low ceiling, make it difficult to reach the pin.
Ezra going for the roller here. Another option for sure. As long as he can curl up, might give himself a good spot, but yeah, it just kind of keeps carrying.
So 3 players out here with some miracle birdie chances. Gonna be pretty difficult to get all the way in there and accurately. Paul has early released this one.
Yeah, this is just a spectator line, so no OB or anything like that here for Ezra Aderhold as he's looking to try to start getting this round trending in the right direction. But obviously a tough shot ahead of him here. Not quite sure where he made it through to.
Yeah, it looks like he probably got caught up in those late branches at the end of the gap. Should be pretty open to the pin. Maybe a long birdie chance.
Oh, Casey almost found it. Looked like he was on the right track, but just a little pulled right and gets caught up.
Yeah, and James pretty much just has a hyzer into the pin right here. Just a little bit of soft finish on it, but he pulls it out wide. Misses the gap, and that's a missed chance right there.
Yeah, I think he's just in front of Casey White's lie in that bigger group of trees, so everyone here just looking to try to get up and down for par. Of course, that's a great upshot there from Casey White to do just that. See if the rest of the par can follow suit. A little bit tougher here, though, for Paul Oman.
Yeah, his upshot came out a little early. Pushed into these woods. What a gap. Gets out cleanly, a little bit too cleanly. Looks like he put enough on that, expecting to hit something. He's still going to be inside the circle, though, for his par look.
And almost a little chip skip in there from Ezra Aderhold to save something, but settles on down and gives him a good look at par. Oh, he's thinking about going for this. Gives it a bid. Oh!
With the long bid just off of the top. Missed low on the last one. Made the correction from deeper. Just a little bit too much, though. Only 14% of the field able to connect on the birdie today. Cole did average over par at a 4.08. Definitely in the bonus birdie fields.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's probably top 5 in difficulty on the course.
Yeah, 4th most difficult. One of only 4 holes averaging over par today.
Sounds about right. And of course, it's not about to get really any easier on the upcoming hole as we get to hole number 5, which is also a toughie. We'll talk about here as soon as we see kind of the card. Just kind of finish tapping out these pars. Again, at least not taking any damage on this one, but...
Yeah, surprisingly, not too much damage either. People able to weather this hole pretty well, as there was 68% of the field able to get the par. And yeah, like you were saying, hole 5 for the 2nd day in a row, the most difficult hole on the course. 695 feet. Ideally get a drive here. But that's way easier to say than it is to achieve.
About to say, I can't imagine why this hole is the most difficult on the course. I just don't see it.
Well, you've got this gap here.
Yep, there's many gaps.
Then a crosswind, and then another gap.
And then another gap and a tight tunnel to the pin. So, yeah, definitely requires a great
though.
shot. Yeah, look at this.
This is looking fantastic.
Oh, my.
Goodness.
That's a straight shot to the pin.
He found a golf cart.
Wow, that is excellent.
Yeah, that is a fantastic drive from Casey.
Feels like that's going to get your confidence flowing this early in the round to hit this hole like that.
Yeah, that's got to. Just got a birdie earlier on hole 3. James a little bit overturned there. Might have got a cut roll back into the fairway. Should be able to get up and down for par if he doesn't get too aggressive.
This pans out. Paul Oman might have himself a good shot as well.
Looks like the wind caught a hold of it, though, and took it further right. It's hard to tell what's going to happen getting out of these gaps here with the wind. It swirls a lot of different directions, it seems like, when you're back here. There's usually a backup spot, so you've got a lot of time to sit there and watch other people kick into the woods.
Speaking of kicking in the woods, I think Ezra took a couple of kicks there, but has a little bit of a step out forehand, at least to try to get back in play and still salvage a par out of the situation.
Yeah, all you're looking to do here is land in the middle at the corner. Because this second gap, if you're just 2 feet off of the fairway, the way that it's lined, it's very difficult just to get the angle to carry your disc to the pin from there.
And here's all blue and yellow. And the hands here for James Conrad. Very famous color combination envy here as he's looking to get it in the middle. And looks like he has.
I believe he did. A lot of good shots end up just a little bit short there and pinched off on the right side. Couldn't quite tell if that went far enough or not.
Yeah, it might be right there on the edge of being what he needs. We'll catch up with him soon here. It's Paul Oman. Looks like he is on that corner you're referring to.
Yeah, that's definitely short. He's going to be a good 10, 12 feet short of where he was going for. And look at this drive from Casey White.
I couldn't ask really for better placement. Let's see if he can capitalize.
Oh, no.
Yeah, forehand a little overturned. Gets a kick and still shifts forward. Not really sure what he wound up with.
Yeah, most likely not a birdie look. It's about halfway down that hallway. It's still a good 70, 80 feet to the pin.
Force over kind of on a patent pending here from Paul, but that's going to get caught up, though. And, oh, Ezra Aderhold is in a tough spot here.
Yes, kind of pitch out zone. Yep, there it is.
And not much else really to be found over there, so takes his medicine as we do step up here to James Conrad, who's eyeing up an opportunity to try to get up and down here.
And he is right on the edge, which is a good spot for him. He likes that turnover angle. Slides it up there nicely inside the circle for his par look.
Stand still here for Ezra to try to limit the damage. Comes up a bit shorter than he probably wanted, but not too shabby. We'll have a putt.
Oh, with a nice little hyzer. Also coming up a little shorter than you want, though.
I was like, Casey's going to have to try to just punch a spin putt through some trees here to try to get up to the green. And
yeah, he needs to execute this after that drive to come away with a par. Otherwise, he'd probably just be knocked out for the rest of the round.
Oh, and the putting woes continue here for Ezra. I know that's something that he was kind of even talking about in the practice round for this tournament that he had put out, that, you know, putting something he's really been trying to get right, even was considering switching putters before the tournament.
Yeah, I've switched putters a few times. Ooh, somebody needs to switch to that putter as it grabs the chains very nicely. sticks in there and saves Paul that single bogey rather than double. Gives the chain a nice little
Yeah.
thank you, sir. May I have another?
Yeah, I believe that the chain link had earned the reward there, as we are going to see the rest of the card tap out here.
But 50% of the field, half of the field, taking bogey or above on that last hole. Only 4 players, Alden Harris, Mason Ford, Jared Stoll, Gavin Rathbun, able to get the 3. Way to go, guys. Leads us into hole 6, though. 390-foot par 3. Another little bit of wind to start, then you get into a tunnel and expect it to stop, but it kind of just changes because it hits the tree line, so you got to see what happens to your disc once it gets in there. But fairway drivers, maybe disc up and throw it lower if you want to combat the wind a little bit.
Ooh. Yeah, the wind had a way with that disc. Just pushes it well onto the right-hand side of the fairway. So still has some work to do to try to pitch up for par from over there. Could be a tricky situation. So we'll see what James Conrad will do. He's been throwing this disc a lot, whatever it is. Seems to trust it a lot for these shots. The wind drops this disc, but it looks great.
Yeah, going with that overstable flex. Oh, no way.
Oh, man, did not know about that. I had heard about some throw-ins.
Man.
But I try to not watch the players that I'm going to cover because I like to, have like a pretty live reaction to this coverage. And, man, that was something special.
That looked to be dead center on those chains and just too much heat for it to handle. What a shot from James. Paul Oman liked the line, threw a little bit lower. He's going to be parked for his birdie. Let's take a look at his form again. We saw that slow run up yesterday and just very methodic. Make sure he does the same thing every time. Keeps his arm way out wide. And then just kind of moves it into his position with the rest of his body. Nice clean pull through. Generates all that power with the follow through.
Little triple Lutz at the end, I guess, there.
James, man, that should have stayed in.
Yeah, that is. He definitely is known a time or two to have a big throw in, so could have been another one. So you see Ezra Aderhold here. Puts a good move on this disc. It's up there. Actually skips past the pin.
Yeah, that thing was moving fast. It looked like it was going to catch that tall grass low on the right side the whole time, but just carried fast enough, and he's going to be inside the circle just behind the pin.
Casey White has a little bit of a lengthy approach shot here to try to get up and down for his par. So came up a bit short on that one.
Yeah, he might still be out.
Does appear that way. I mean, that works, though.
Way to go. Hits the long circle, too. 54 feet to keep the card clean.
Man.
They 1 down for the round. Nice putt there from Casey White.
Yeah, considering what he was kind of dealing with up until that point and the wind and all the other factors involved, that was a good one. But Ezra comes up high on that one.
Yeah, that could be that tall grass coming into play a little bit. Kind of keep your hand up higher to not feel it. Makes you feel a little uncomfortable. Or try to do it normal, but you do feel it. Paul, no problem, though, is going to tap in his. James going to hit chains for the second time, get his 2. That moves him to 3 down. He's just kind of quietly moving along after those couple birdies to start.
Starting to wrap up this front 9 as we get to hole number 7, our first par 5 on the course with some changes to last year.
Yeah, have to throw across this water here. Pick your poison on how far of a carry you want, but you do have to carry probably at least 300 feet at any point if you want to land in a decent position. If you turn it over too much, you can end up in the woods on the right and not have much of a shot. If you let it fade out, you're going to go OB like we saw at least one player do yesterday. But yeah, try to bite off a lot of distance on the second shot is going to be your best way to try to execute a birdie on this hole.
James will take the box here. Turns that one over a good bit. Looks like it's starting to fight out here at the end, though. And we'll stay in the fairway.
Yeah, in the fairway, a little height on that, and he could have got a lot more distance. But he's got a good opportunity to push down the fairway on that second shot. Paul lining more of a hyzer play up here.
Nice play, Paul.
Does so nicely.
Yeah, skips right, pretty much center cut. Can't really ask for better than that. So now I'll get Casey White. Again, just a stark contrast in speed between Paul Oman and Casey White on this footwork.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Casey lands in a pretty similar spot, though, after using the much quicker run-up. Didn't go for too much distance there. He definitely has one of the larger arms as well. Can put a good rip on it.
Speaking of larger arms, Ezra Aderhold here smoking this disc.
Yeah, here's your actual physically larger arms.
Oh, my God. He got
Ezra,
down there.
and just pumping it out there. He's going to be looking to get close to that tree that should create a gap for most players on their second shot. Ezra will probably be trying to get past that now.
It's like he had an extra can of beans this morning. Got that way on up there. Casey White, great second shot there.
Yeah, moving over to that left side kind of opens up the shot more, in my opinion, where you don't have to go to the right of that tree the camera just showed late there. Helps you attack this green a little better with the upslope that it's on.
And a great shot here from Conrad, hugging that right wood line and fizzling out right at the end in a perfect spot here in the middle.
Yeah, that was a huge shot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was pretty far back to get as far as he did there.
Good smash here from Paul Oman. Awesome
Yeah,
to see
going
him
for
generate
it.
that kind of power with that speed. Kind of goes to show that it's just about the technique.
Yeah, all about that release point, release angle, getting your timing right. It doesn't have to be fast.
Ezra's going for this with that line, I feel like. Oh, my.
Yeah. I believe you're correct. And he is up there in, if not in circle 2, very close, and has an opportunity for an eagle on this 1100.
Wow, that would be
11-foot
crazy.
Par 5.
This is usually not the par 5 you expect to see the eagle on. I think Simon eagled it last year and was the only one to do it, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, this is pretty rare to see someone in that position.
Yeah, Casey going with the forehand, spiking it up in there around inside the circle. Yeah, I'm interested to see how close Ezra actually got there, see if he has a good look at it. It's definitely a good one to run with the steep backdrop behind it.
Absolutely. Oh, as Paul was hoping that was going to fade out, but kind of just... Oh, actually a great kick, though.
Yeah, kicks out, and he's going to stay up on that hillside, which is not something you see when you get a kick very often. That
Definitely
pretty-
not.
Pretty fast and runs down into that bunker, but he will take it.
And the king of backhand turnovers here, James Conrad. Gets it up there nice.
That's incredible to have it come out and not cut roll into the woods.
Wow, what is it, like 35 feet?
No way. Did he really get that close? Oh, let's go.
He
Way to go,
gets it.
Ezra, with the eagle.
I doubt. I mean, maybe someone else gets it, but there's not going to be many.
No, not today. He was the only eagle. That's incredible. I didn't realize he got that close.
That's a way to bounce back. I mean, we've definitely seen him have some struggles here at the putting green, mostly on this front nine, but that eagle certainly can help make up for a little bit of that.
Wow. Yeah, that knocks. Yeah. That knocks a couple of those bogey strokes he's added up throughout this front nine off. Gonna need a little bit more to get back in contention, but what a great hole there from Ezra.
Yeah, kind of hope that's the spark he needs to maybe throw some gas on and start lighting up the leaderboard here as we get to James Conrad, who's right near the circle's edge for his birdie.
Yeah, James.
Count it.
All right, and with Casey already in and Paul right here close, we're about to have a superstar, extra star.
Yeah, I think Superstar's good. I don't mind that. I think Galaxy Frame also seems pretty cool.
Oh, I like that one. Galaxy Frame here on hole 7. Moving into hole 8. Hopefully we can get another, but we'd have to see an ace. 406-foot water carry, probably 350 to 360. If you push too far, you're going to have a tricky putt in the woods, but pretty much just distance control here and make sure you don't throw it too low. You're going to have to really play the wind today, though, depending on which direction it's blowing.
I feel like most players just try to play the wide hyzer and then have it crash in. That's exactly what Ezra's looking for here. See if the wind plays nice.
Giving more ace runs out here.
I guess so. I had certainly heard some rumors about some throw-ins elsewhere. Don't want to give any spoilers on that, though, but apparently there was a lot of highlights to be had on moving day out the preserve. You've seen certainly a couple of them here.
Like this wind is a little bit of tail pushing right to left. So great wind for these hyzers. James throwing this a little bit short, but skipping off of the path and getting a nice backstop on the tree. He'll take that.
Absolutely. Should be well within the circle for a birdie putt here. Even wider hyzer here from Paul Oman. But getting that right to left carry that you're talking about from the wind, and that'll be great.
And up there inside the circle. And Casey's getting a birdie on the last hole, but staying on the back of the box.
In the hole. Come on, Casey.
A little more direct and a little lower.
Yeah,
big
that
carry,
wind's gonna
though.
grab it late. Push it over there to the right side. There's a chance he has a look, but most likely obstructed over there.
Might be able to find a little window here. Looks like there might be a little something for a spin putt. Yes, sir. He's found it.
Nice. Yeah, great putt. That's 2 in a row now for Casey, getting him to 3 down. Starting to put it together.
Absolutely. Got the privilege of meeting him out in Tallahassee earlier this year. Really cool dude. Again, you know, this is like only his, I think, maybe second or third year on tour and trying to make some moves.
Yeah, very down to earth, relaxed, fun guy to be around.
Very talkative, too. Very friendly guy.
Yeah.
And you see a birdie there from Paul Oman. 3 in a row, making up for some lost ground earlier in the round.
James looking for a turkey of his own right here, and possibly our second star frame or better in the last couple of holes.
That is very true. It's like we are going to get back-to-back whatever frames you'd like to call them.
I guess they're technically not even star frames till you have 5 people. We're still looking at a square right now.
That's true. Maybe even like a bit of a rectangle since it was an eagle, so I feel like there's one longer side.
Rhombus.
Yeah, something like that.
Add an extra, add a bit side.
Yeah, sounds good. So we get to our final hole at the front 9, a big par 5 requiring a lot of distance.
Yeah, 1,280 feet. If you can get inside of 400 feet for your final approach shot to the basket, that's really the intended goal. Off of this tee shot, get around that bush that you saw on the right, and then there's another tree past that. As long as you don't land directly on it, you should be out in the open. There's a little bit of OB that comes into play right side for your second shot. And there's also a ditch that crosses late that could come into play on your second, possibly third shot.
Ezra looking to go big here with his turnover, and going big he has done. That's definitely well up there. If you want to hear a crazy story, Nathan, There was a practice round that was filmed where David Wiggins Jr. threw 2 360s and was pin high.
Yeah, that's I don't need to hear all that. No, I'm just-
He didn't get the
No,
eagle
that's-
though, unfortunately, but he
Oh,
did.
no.
He did get way up there. It was crazy.
Gotta make the putts, man. But no, that's incredible stuff there. That's 700-foot drives.
Yep. But luckily, these guys don't really need that to score a birdie. And so far, everyone's done what they've needed to do.
Yeah, I believe there's a tailwind, so they're trying to use that wind to push these out. Probably not quite getting the turn that they're wanting and get them to carry, but still good enough distance where they can push down the fairway on their second shots.
Good angle here from Casey White, getting pretty much the full flight out of that one. It's really good progress up the fairway.
Yeah, he's made it all the way to that tree I was talking about, and he is right beside it in a great position. And look at this disc drag over to the right, getting all kinds of distance. Great second shot. That's going to probably leave him 375 to 400 into the pin from there.
I believe you were saying that last tree you see on the left was about 300 from the green, so sounds about right.
I think it's about 315. I double checked myself. I'll add 15 feet to that one.
We'll give you a margin of error of 15 feet. As James Conrad throws it well on up there on the right-hand side of the fairway. Casey White, again, getting another full flight out of this.
Yeah, after that massive drive, he's almost got to think about that ditch up there. Does turn the cameraman a little bit, and he's going to be probably inside that or around that 250 range, maybe even inside to the pin.
Yeah,
after
he's
2 great shots.
He's definitely already done the heavy lifting of this hole, that's for sure. Speaking of heavy lifting, Ezra can do a
Yeah.
lot of that, and he gets swelling up there.
Yeah, apparently Ezra had driven farther
Yeah.
than Casey. I didn't realize that with his fading out like that, but he ended up right around that 315 tree. James getting up there pin height just inside the circle. He'll have that 25 to 28 foot look for his birdie.
And again, here's kind of that 350 to 375 range up shot for Paul Oman and try to get up and down for his birdie. Certainly capable. Looks solid.
Yeah, that's a good angle.
Oh, wow. That is in the
That's a good
bullseye.
birdie.
As stress-free as it gets, which is exactly what you want to end your front nine. That would put him at 4 in a row. Great shot from Casey White as well. That's very near the bullseye in his own right.
Yeah, Casey's going to get his 3 in a row now. Having that nice finish to his front nine after keeping it clean so far.
Man, everyone might have a great finish to their front nine as Ezra Aderhold also finds himself in the circle. So, I mean, we're seeing some great runs here on the 7 through 9 stretch.
Yeah, nothing but birdie or better. We have the opportunity here if we can connect on a few of these Circle 1 testers. James, no problem.
Yeah, he's done his part. So he'll go collect his disc out the chains, finding himself tied for a podium spot. 6 under on the front nine, a really great score. Nice bounce back from Ezra. Getting himself back to even after a really cold start.
Yeah, he's got double bogey and bogey on the card, or a couple bogeys. But you see that eagle birdie, just getting him back to even. So definitely a good push there. He's got an opportunity to shoot hot on the back nine. Still salvage a good round. We had 1 eagle on this hole today. Calvin Heimberg, shout out to you with the 3.
Yeah, I believe that was a very long throw-in if I'm not mistaken. So definitely go check that out.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
As we are going to take a look. In fact, I'll just go ahead and say it. I think it was 280 feet. I don't think it was only on live coverage, I think, that you would have seen it or on social media. So, yeah, 280 to get himself an eagle on this hole. As we take a look at that leaderboard there, things kind of starting to shape up here on Moving Day again. A big thank you to all of our Patreon supporters who help make this all possible. We'll hope that you'll follow and subscribe up here at Gatekeeper Media so you can catch the rest of the Preserve as well as the rest of our Disc Golf Pro Tour coverage for the year. Again, I'm Dustin Mouret, and joined me is Nathan Clean, and man, it was a great round.
Yeah, fun to watch. We've got bogeys, eagles, and birdies. An exciting golf out here at the Preserve.
Yep, see you on the back nine.
We'll see you guys out there.